Good morning, traders. What's going on? Happy Monday. Good morning, chat. What's up? All right, real quick, taking a look at news. I think we don't have anything today. Just a couple Fed speakers throughout the day, but no data releases or anything like that. So I did get into a trade pre-market. This red line, actually I drew before the market opened on last night. So my thought was if we reject this value area high, I would be looking for shorts. And it didn't work out last night because it actually opened up pretty bullish. But when I woke up this morning, it looked like it was trending down, starting to look weak. It came back up and retested that value area high pretty clean. So that's where I got in a short. Gonna see, kind of aiming towards this 24,800 level. There's some good support there. But also trailing my stop into profit because, you know, pre-market shenanigans. Or New York Open shenanigans, I guess I should say. How was everyone's weekend? Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? Yeah, I heard it was a good game. This is the first year in, I don't know, I can't remember, first year in a long time that I didn't watch it and had nothing to do with the whole halftime drama. You guys know me by now. If you've been following me, I don't care about politics and drama. I just didn't have any interest in the game, honestly. You love football regardless? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just now that I have kids and I'm like busy with them, I don't have as much time to like sit and actually watch a game. I haven't paid attention like really to football in a while. I used to do fantasy football and all that stuff. Like I didn't just pay attention to my one team that I follow. I knew every player. Not lately. It was a boring game? I've heard both sides now, I guess. I've heard a couple people say it was a good game. And a couple people told me I didn't miss anything. All right, guys, market opens in 2 minutes. We do have a no news Monday, so I'm kind of mentally prepping myself for possibly having a choppy day. All right, giving this a little bit of room to retest the top of my high volume node and point of control area, but I don't want to give it that much room. But we'll see if the downtrend continues when the market opens. First 3 quarters were bad. I guess it was a good defensive game then. Got to appreciate the defense. All right, market's about to open. Trade safe, friends. Let's make it a great day. Manage your risk. Start off the week with some green. All right, here we go. Well, so far so good. We have point of control at 24,810. It's kind of an area I'm watching for a bounce. And we have this high volume node down here. If you look left, you can see that chop from previous day. There was our pre-market low. Kind of getting a little bounce at that pre-market low. Let's see how it continues. Good morning, Kevin. Well, gang, while we're waiting for this thing to settle and figure out where it wants to go, first couple minutes of the open, if you haven't already, hit that like button. And those of you guys just tuning in, happy Monday. All right, we got a little pullback on that initial candle. Let's see if we get back below that pre-market low. Looks like it's going to bounce there so far. All right, there's my stop. That was a good bounce at that level. Yeah, I took off a couple contracts and then just trailed my stop. Probably could have taken off a little bit more, but that's all right. So, couple possibilities. We could come back up to this value area high area, which is also where VWAP is. So this would be an interesting spot to reject. It's also kind of where our regular trading hours gap fill would be. So somewhere in this 25, 150, 160 level could be a decent spot to watch for a rejection if we are going to continue down. Yeah, definitely could be gearing up for a choppy day with no news on a Monday. We haven't had one of those in a while, I feel like. What are you guys watching for in the chat? What's your plans? Choppy open so far. All right, here we go. Starting to break up above that initial 5-minute candle. Let's see what happens at value area high, VWAP area. It's the next level I'm watching. Waiting for the orb? Yeah, not necessarily. I do like to stay patient and wait for the first 15 minutes at least, unless there's an obvious level that hits. I think I'm more waiting for this level up here. We have VWAP, value area high, and the RTH close from last session. So if we are going to continue back down, this is a decent spot that I'll be watching. I'm going to stay patient and wait for a sign that sellers are actually showing up, though, because this is a pretty strong 5-minute candle. Coming up towards that VWAP. No signs of rejecting yet. Hitting value area high right now. That regular trading hours gap is 162. We got about 3 more minutes until our opening range is set. Still kind of hovering here. Staying patient. G-Man, you're looking for 189, huh? Yeah, I could see that. If you look left, there's some decent chop in that area. Still heading back up. All right. We do have our opening range set at this point. That's our 15-minute opening range high. Just chopping around here. There's really not any like momentum for continuation outside of this range, so I'm not super excited about taking a long on the break of the 15-minute opening range. Man, this is some wiki price action up here. Goodness. I mean, it's definitely looking like it wants to close outside the range. But it's all over the place. This is TradingView. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes. If it closes back inside the range, that's not a good sign for longs. Not a bad close on that candle. All right, let's see. See if we get a little pullback, retest, and then continuation up, or if this thing just dumps. All right, I'm trying a short. Yeah, you'll have to show me what that report is, G-Man. I assume you're talking about Edgeful, right? That's pretty cool. So far, I've only been using the orb and the initial balance reports. Still getting used to all the others. There's so many. If you guys haven't checked out Edgeful, it's really, really cool, especially if you like data. It's been helping me take the emotion out of trading for sure. Let's see if we get continuation down. The only thing I'm worried about is we do still have this New York anchored VWAP down here. So we need to break that if we're going to get some continuation down. That is sitting around 25,100-ish. Let's break below there. We have a big range today for our 15-minute range so far. Oh, 200 points for our 15-minute range. Total range is 235. Big day. We got 90 of you guys in here on a Monday. Let's go. Go hit that like button if you haven't already. Smash the like. All right, coming down to that anchored VWAP right now. Come on, break below it. Let's go. We still have 1 minute left on this 5-minute candle, but so far, it's a pretty good rejection. Can we get a close below that VWAP? Come on. Does MNQ have another name on the funded next account? Not that I know of. It might be listed, actually, it might be listed as MNQ-H6. But usually when you just type in MNQ, it'll show you what the current contract is. But yeah, type in MNQ-H6. That's the one that we're on right now. Well, so far it's bouncing at that anchored VWAP. Rodrigo, let's go. Making money for diapers. I feel ya. I had twins, and our diaper budget was insane. I would go to Costco like several times a month. And those Costco boxes had, what, 200 diapers, 300 diapers? We went through a lot of diapers. Oh no, Funded Next definitely supports MNQ. I'm not familiar with MetaTrader though. You've been going to Target? I don't really shop at Target. Target's not very cost efficient. I feel like you can get stuff cheaper other places. So far, this might work out. I guess we'll find out though, because it still hasn't broken below that VWAP. I feel like Starbucks and Target are like a thing. That's where, that's typical, stereotypical mom. Go get some Starbucks and shop at Target and spend way too much money. That's probably why I avoid Target. Well, if this thing is gonna bounce at this VWAP, it's taking its sweet time. It's not looking super strong. It still could happen. Definitely could. But if I was sitting in a long, I would be a little bit nervous. Oh man. Told you guys, I figured it was going to be a choppy no news Monday. I didn't expect it to be putting us to sleep 30 minutes into the open. Can I explain why I sold versus bought? That is a good question. And honestly, I could be wrong, because one thing that I'm watching and possibly regretting on entering this trade is a lot of times when it breaks out the top of the 15-minute opening range, the orb, and comes back and retests the New York anchored VWAP, a lot of times it'll continue in that direction. So that's kind of what I'm watching here. But the reason I took a short was we are at, so trending down below previous day high. We had the value area high and the regular trading hours gap. So we kind of filled those. And then we have the overnight session VWAP that was anchored at last night's open. So those are three areas that are kind of a resistance. And then that candle had a pretty big rejection at that area. That was the reasoning for entering short. But like I said, it could go either way because it is bouncing off this New York anchored VWAP, and that's a setup that I usually take long. So we shall see what happens. There's no continuation either way. I'm sitting here nervous in a short. I'd be sitting here nervous in a long too. Kind of chopping between those VWAPs. The New York anchored VWAP and last night's VWAP. $50-50, yeah. That's pretty much it. No, the reason I have my stop loss tighter is because the whole idea is that it rejected VWAP and closed back within the 15-minute opening range. So if it starts to get back up above VWAP and the 15-minute opening range, I don't want to be in the trade anymore. So that's why I have my stop loss there. Looks like it's going to continue up. Still choppy. I mean, it's not like breaking out and just exploding to the top side either. It's a little bit ugly. There it goes. So we do have previous day high up here. If that continues up, then obviously we have our Asia high. At this point, if we're going to continue up, gotta just wait for a pullback. Do I call it a day? No. So I opened up with a pretty good win at the market open, and that was a loss. So I'm still up on the day. At this point, I just stay patient. We still have 23 minutes until the 60-minute initial balance is set. So might wait for that unless something obvious shows up. I am watching gold too on another screen, and it's kind of coming up to an area of resistance around like 5068-ish. Watching this previous day high level, see what happens here. It's a slow grind kind of day. Check your emotions too, you guys. I'm just sitting here kind of thinking about how like it feels slow, maybe starting to feel impatient, like looking for a trade. So if you feel anything like that, check yourself. You sent me a question in Discord, like as a direct message or in the group chat. I don't see anything if you sent me a message. Oh man, this isn't really doing that much right now. TG, you might be talking to spam because I didn't send you anything. Unless it was a long time ago. Send me another message and I'll see if it's me. Yeah, Red Torrent Media. I've been watching gold on another chart too. It had one decent move up at the 9:30 open, but it was chopping pre-market and now it's back to chop. Kind of looks like it wants to drop right now. As I say that, there's a big dump on gold. When gold is choppy like this, I try to avoid it. I'm not good at reading gold when it's kind of just chopping around VWAP, and VWAP is flat. Like, look at VWAP right now. It's a straight horizontal line. I've learned my lesson to avoid gold when it looks like that. Well, there's NQ previous day high. Still not giving us a good pullback if we're going to try longs. So really the next area for a potential liquidity grab is this Asia high up here. 25,347. But with how slow this thing is moving, geez, it might take 2 hours to get up there. We got about 14 minutes until the 60-minute initial balance is set. But there's no signs of rejecting at that previous day high so far. Continuing up. All right, chat, we got 94 of you guys watching, 42 likes. Go hit that like button real quick. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. It does help, honestly. It's like giving me a virtual high five. If we were sitting next to each other in the office, wouldn't you want to give me a high five? I would. Right back at you, Kimmer. Oh, now I'm getting some real high fives. Let's go. Love it. Hope you guys are hitting the like button too and giving me high fives. I appreciate it. Oh, man. No news Mondays are tough to trade. I mean, I've kind of labeled them as no news Mondays, but just slow grind days like this. Feels almost like trading the Asia session. What's ES doing? ES looks about the same as NQ. Here is ES's overnight high. Dang, if NQ continues up towards that overnight high, that's Still a 100-point move away from where we're at right now. And no signs of a red 5-minute candle. No turning around. Your first 100-point trade. Let's go. So I'm guessing that was an NQ long. Did you get in on the retest of the New York anchored VWAP, or when did you get in? Coming down to retest this previous day high. Calling it a day, yeah. Not a bad idea with this slow price action. Cool. Good job, Carrie. This is tricky. I'm going to wait for 7 minutes to see what the initial balance kind of settles at, see if we get anything to trade off of that. But I don't know. If it continues to be slow like this, I might not find anything. As of now, this is our 15 or our initial balance high. It is closing below that previous day high. But it's still above VWAP. So I'm not going to be too quick to take a short. This still could just be a retest and continuation back up. A little pullback. How do you say yes in Spanish? Are you messing with me? Sí? I don't know. I mean, I know a couple words in Spanish, but why are you asking? That's a random question. Yeah. Oh gosh, Seahawks. I figured there was some joke there. Figured you were messing with me. Womp womp. G-Man didn't like your joke. Oh, that's funny. Well, we're starting to pull back towards these VWAPs. It's also our 15-minute opening range high. We could potentially look for a long in this area if it confirms around 26,150. I just don't like how slow this is. Yeah, that's kind of the area I'm watching. 15-minute opening range high, and both of the VWAPs are there. The one anchored at the New York Open and last night's Open. Yeah, I never actually touched it. That was a good bounce off of that area, but didn't pull back. I was looking more towards like 150-ish, 152. It came down to like 165, 10 points off. Coming up towards initial balance high right now. Looks like it's headed back towards the initial balance high. Let's see if it actually breaks out and continues, though. That's the question. What am I looking for right now? Right now, I'm just watching to see what happens when it hits this initial balance high. See if we get any sort of rejection or if it closes outside of it and we can get a retest and go long. I don't know, though. Not loving it. If it breaks 5-day, I think it can go to Asia high. Yeah, that would definitely be the next obvious area of interest. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards longs, and it was kind of watching for a pullback towards this opening range high and VWAP area, but I was a little too greedy with my pullback. It didn't come low enough. All right, there's a break of that initial balance high. Let's see what happens. Looks to be continuing. It's definitely interesting having to make an adjustment in this market. Just thinking of last week where I was sizing down like half size because it was just insane, the volatility. And now watching the market, it's like putting me to sleep. Just kind of observing the difference. Well, a lot of times when it gets to the initial balance high or low, I'll look for a bounce and possible range opportunity. But I don't think I like the idea of a short up here. It's kind of looking like it's going to continue up. Just a slow grind kind of day. It could drop at some point. Just no signs of it yet. You're feeling burnout? Any advice? I wouldn't say you need to change the market, because if you have a profitable system on the instrument that you trade, then stay with that. But a couple things. One is trading is supposed to be boring. If it's boring, then you're probably doing it right. If you're feeling like a super exciting adrenaline dopamine rush, then you're probably doing it wrong. So that's one thing. But also, trading requires a lot of mental energy. So take time off. I actually have a couple of videos where I talk about this. Like, not even, I'm talking about more than just the normal Saturday and Sunday off. Like, take a day off during the week outside of a day that the market is closed. Just don't look at the charts. That's what helps me personally, because I get burnout. I know there's a lot of people that are like, on the weekends I back test and I'm journaling, and if I'm like not sitting at the charts trading, then I'm doing all kinds of stuff outside of trading. I get burnout when I do that. I'll trade for a couple hours, journal my trades, and then close my computer and not even look at the charts. And there's days that I purposely don't trade and like don't even watch the New York Open. So for you, it would be don't even watch the German session. And if you're feeling super burnout, then I would say take maybe a week off or like multiple days off in a row. And then add it to your normal schedule where you take a day off during the week every once in a while. I do it at least every other week. I take a day off where I don't watch the New York session. I started doing that over the last couple months. It helps a lot. Any online classes for new options traders? I don't have any, actually. I've never really looked into options that much. I'm curious about it. I'm interested in possibly doing it in the future, but I also want to make sure I have a really good, consistent, profitable strategy with futures first before I start adding on more stuff. Well, it's hovering at that initial balance high. I don't like shorts because this is a slow grind up kind of price action day. I don't really love longs either, just because how do we know how far it is going to pull back? The risk to reward on it isn't great. Because if I was to enter a long here, I would probably put my stop loss below that candle, and then I would target the overnight high. It's not even a little over a 1-to-1. I don't love that. What are you guys thinking in the chat? Is this just an ugly day? Nice, Carrie. Still holding your long. Let's go. Well, just for funsies, a lot of times with an initial balance breakout, if there's continuation, the 0.5 level is a good target. Where is that? So the 0.5 extension would be 25,380. It's just a little bit above the Asia high. So let's see if it gets up there. Still grinding. Mom Bucks, you missed the buy. Yeah, me too. It was about 10 points away from where I was looking to enter. Gold got a strong move up. Dang. I'm kind of looking around, you guys, at ES and gold and NQ. I don't really see anything that's like coming up that I'd be interested in. Well, there's the break on NQ. See if it makes it up to this Asia high, which is the high of today, not just the New York session, but high of day. And then this yellow line is where that 0.5 extension is on the IB breakout. Those targets hit a lot. If I'm ever in an initial balance breakout trade, I'll usually leave a runner to the 0.5. All right, team. I'm not seeing anything I like. It's not really giving us a pullback at this point. And honestly, even if it did, I don't love the volume. So I think I'm going to call it take my green and run. If you guys are getting any new platform accounts, use code Krista. I appreciate the support. Love you guys. And I will see ya mañana. Have a good one, team.